Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. As climate change worsens, so does water insecurity across the globe, even in regions historically untouched by water scarcity. Today, it is estimated that a quarter of the world's population doesn't have access to drinkable water, and with our current trajectory, that number will rise. A rational response to this emerging crisis would be to examine its causes and do everything possible to ensure an equitable, sustainable access for all people. But governments and economic institutions are treating it as a business opportunity. Communities like my hometown of Freiburg became a target of these private interests because of the sizable groundwater source our town rests upon. Poland Spring, now owned by a pair of private equity firms operating as Blue Triton brands, secured a 45-year contract to extract groundwater, and is currently taking water from 10 communities across Maine. In yet another wave of global resource capture, there is now a rush for privileged access to clean groundwater sources to capitalize on the growing market for imported water. For the first time in human history, in December 2020, water futures were sold on Wall Street. Venture capitalists are now gambling on the future of global water security, and they depend on elevated water scarcity to make a profit. Meanwhile, just a few days ago marked 9 years since the water crisis in Flint, Michigan began and has still not been resolved. Centuries of colonial oppression and environmental devastation driven by psychotic greed have brought the water, climate, and ecological crises upon us. The industry's response is to commodify water and profit from people's basic needs. Their solution is as effective as putting lipstick on a pig. If we allow private interests and the framework of economic development to drive the climate change response, we will only see half measures that avoid the root problem. Water distribution should be a humanitarian undertaking with respect for scientific reality, with impacted communities making these decisions instead of shareholders and corporate executives shielded by their wealth from the harsh realities of the climate crisis. Water is life. If the regulatory bodies entrusted with protecting water from pollution and depletion are unwilling and incapable of taking necessary action for future generations, then it is up to us. We have opportunities to enact immediate protections for water through such bills as LD 1111, which would democratize and bring accountability to local regulatory processes for groundwater sources. But our most powerful tool is our solidarity. My primary request of you is to continue fighting for and learning from one another, especially communities who have suffered most under the settler colonial system. All of our struggles are linked, and so must be our solutions. We can't afford to continue operating as individuals with unconnected problems. How we mobilize in defense of water and each other will determine future generations' capacity for life, peace, and prosperity. The sooner we recognize and act like water justice is racial justice, is economic justice, is environmental justice, is queer liberation, is indigenous liberation, is war prevention, the sooner we will see a free and livable future for us all. Thank you.